for a perfect nature destination, or maybe you are looking for a great place for your next hike and also you want to do this on a budget? If so, then you open the right video. And today we are going to talk about Gudauri and what it can offer to you. Let me start from the beginning, and it will be how you can get to the Gudauri itself. You can arrive in Georgia in 3 international airports, or you can travel by bus from neighbor countries. If you arrive with airplane, you will arrive in one of 3 international airports. It's Tbilisi, Kutaisi or Batumi. Between all of them, you can travel with train or bus. In my opinion, train is more comfortable, while bus has more flexible schedule and also it's a little bit faster. To travel to Gudauri, you will need to arrive to Tbilisi. In Tbilisi, you will need to go to Didube bus station. And from this bus station, you have 3 options that will allow you to go to Gudauri. And the first one is to take a taxi. You will find these taxis all around the main road through the bus station that you can see on the map. The cost will be around $70 per one car. Second option is to take a microbus. Usually there are 7 seats and you can share this bus with other passengers. Those microbuses don't have an exact schedule and you need to wait while all the seats will be taken. Third option is minibuses. Those minibuses have some kind of schedule and are way cheaper. For example, a bus to Gudauri costs $3.3, while a bus to Kazbegi costs $5. I prefer this option since it has some schedule and it's the cheapest option. The minuses of minibuses that there is no much place for luggage. Most probably you will hold your bags, and the schedule can be interrupted in any way. The bus can depart early if it has all seats taken, or it can depart late if there are some empty seats. Buses to Mskheta, Gudauri and Kazbegi departure from the same station that you can see on the map. To get the most comfort of this travel on these minibuses, I would recommend you to book in advance your seats. To do this, you will need to travel to the bus station, take the phone numbers from the drivers, and afterwards book via phone call. Since most of the drivers don't know English, it would be good to ask your apartment owner to make a call for you. And while I started to talk about apartments, I would like to share some information about where should you stay. Gudauri itself split into 3 parts: New Gudauri, Lower Gudauri and Upper Gudauri. If you plan a long stay, I would recommend choosing New Gudauri. It has a supermarket and is relatively close to the main hiking roads. In Lower Gudauri, you can find more shops, but in summer, most of them don't work anyway. To reach Upper Gudauri, you will need to book a special transfer, because there are no buses to this place. And also, during summer, there is not working at all. So I would recommend to avoid this place. A detailed review of the apartment, what you can expect and for what prices, I already made a video, so you can visit it below. Before diving into the nature and hiking opportunities, I would like to give several tips that will be useful for you. First of all, take with you sunglasses. The sun in the mountains is pretty strong and wearing good sunglasses is highly advisable. You should take them with you because there is no place where you can buy them in Gudauri. Also, a good idea is to buy and wear sunscreen, again, because of the strong sun. Be ready that there is a different temperature, and while in Tbilisi and other parts of Georgia it's hot, in Gudauri weather can change from 5 to 17 degrees, especially it matters if you plan to stay outside at night or during a cloudy day. Also, it's a good idea to have several spare days during your stay, because weather in mountains can change rapidly, and I would recommend you to go outside during the rain or right after it. And if it's possible, I would recommend coming here in June or at the beginning of July to enjoy the biggest amount of flowers. It's incredibly beautiful during this time of the year. Now let's continue with the most beautiful part of my tale, and it's hiking and nature in the Gudauri. In 2024 there are 2 official hiking roads, and the first one is a hike to Chrdili mountain. This mountain is located just in front of New Gudauri, and this hike doesn't require much time. The peak of the mountain is located at 2,500 meters of altitude. It is just 300 meters of the altitude gained. The road doesn't require any special equipment and can be made in 2 variations: go to the peak and back, or make a circle through the mountain. I would recommend going in a circle, since at the back of the mountain you will see additional scenic views, and it won't add any complexity to your hike. At the beginning of June, or even in the mid-June, you can find some small parts of snow at the top of Chrdili. It's still strange to me to see snow and flowers together in summer. The second official road is to go to Kvesheti village. This road is more complex due to its length. According to the official estimation, it can take you up to 4 hours to go down, and if you plan to go up, it will take even more time. Basically, you can split this trail and not make it completely, but just reach Centurni. This part is easy and can be done in less than 3 hours to go there and return, but the amount of possible hike roads is way higher. For example, I decided to modify the second official road. I took a minibus to Zemomleta. From that village, you can reach a huge waterfall. According to my drone, the waterfall is over 50 meters high. From Zemomleta, it will take you about 1.5–2 hours to reach the waterfall. You will walk along the river and beautiful fields of flowers. I would recommend this road in the end of June, because there are many mountain streams, and in May or early June there can be too much water. Along the walk to the waterfall, you'll see many cows, horses and donkeys. Be careful with cows, because they may attack you. During my walk, they decided to run after me. I was lucky that there was a tree nearby, so I used it as a place to hide. Also on the way there, you'll find a couple of old forgotten houses that look very interesting in this landscape. The variety and amount of flowers are astonishing. This road is worth it even just because of the flowers. Once you start to see the waterfall, you may want to go to it as close as possible, but there is no way to stand underneath it. The river blocks the last 20 meters and you won't be able to see it, so instead I would recommend you to go up the hill located in front of it. So once you see this house, you don't need to cross the river, but you need to go up the hill. There are several places on the hill where you can see the waterfall pretty close. Once you return back to Zemomleta or Kvemomleta, you have 3 options. First one is on your way back, go and book a seat in the minibus. In this way you will be able to return back to Gudauri by bus. I would not recommend to simply wait for the bus, because most probably it will be full and won't stop for you. Second option is to go back by the road. This is a bad option because there is no space for pedestrians, so it will be very uncomfortable. And third option is what I actually did. It's to go to Kvesheti village, and from there you can go by the official road back to Gudauri. From Kvemomleta to Kvesheti you will walk for about an hour along the road. I would not expect anything interesting here, but there are a couple of places where you can take water in your bottle, and I would recommend to have some water, because after Kvesheti you won't be able to find any water. After Kvesheti you will go for about an hour or so by the dirt road, and it's pretty dusty. But the main issue of this part of the road is trucks. The amount of dust in the air is crazy. Because of this, I wouldn't recommend this part of the road to anyone, and do not plan to repeat this walk again. But to compensate for the dust, you can find one more waterfall nearby. While here you can walk to the waterfall itself, I would not recommend coming close, since rocks can fall on you, so be careful. Just 10 minutes before the second waterfall, you can find a left turn, and this is the turn that we need to go back home. It's the hardest part of the hike, since you will need to gain about 600 meters straight. It took me about 1.5 hours to finish this part. Here you can find old buildings and interestingly looking hills, but it's a pretty intense load for your legs. Once you reach the altitude of 2000 meters, you'll quickly reach Saturni complex, and afterwards the rest of the hike will be easy. Overall, this road took me about 11 hours and 30 minutes if take into account the part of riding on the bus, so do not forget to take a lot of water with you. Another interesting hike is hike to Sadzele peak. The peak of Sadzele is located at 3258 meters, so the overall altitude gain from New Gudauri is a bit over 1 kilometer. In July there should be working ski lifts, so you can even get a ride. I tried to hike to the peak in June, and I don't think that you will be able to reach the peak in June because of the amount of snow at this altitude. I was able to reach only 2900 meters. There is a dirt road that leads to Sadzele, so you can even find a car that will drive you there. On the way to Sadzele you can find cows, goats, sheep, horses and donkeys. Be careful when you see sheep, because nearby can be herding dogs, so it's better to keep some distance from them. Also at about 2800 meters you can find a small lake with a very beautiful color of the water. It's definitely worth your visit. In June you can take photos in snowdrifts and enjoy the winter view. Maybe in July it will be possible to reach the peak. Another hike is a hike to Panorama Gudauri. Panorama Gudauri is a pretty popular stop and there are many tourists at any time of the year. I would estimate this hike as easy but long. It will take about 9-10 kilometers one way with about 100-200 elevation gain one way. You can walk along the car road as I did on my way there, but it was a mistake. There is no place for pedestrians, and especially bad situation when you need to go through the tunnel. So on my way backwards, I found a dirt road that leads to New Gudauri, and you will enjoy the road way more. So use the dirt road if you decide to visit Panorama. Along the way you will find several nice mountain streams. They are surrounded by flowers and it looks especially nice with snowy mountains in the background. Also you can find a car in one of the large puddles. Once you start coming closer to the panorama, you may see paragliders. There are several spots around Gudauri where you can order such entertainment. Not sure how it feels, but even from the side it looks pretty scary. At the monument itself, you can find small lots with items for tourists and different entertainment like horse riding or renting a quad bike. And of course, do not forget to take a look at the monument and views around it. Another destination is hike to the cross. I would call this hike the shortest and the easiest. This cross is visible from New Gudauri and you can reach there in about 30-40 minutes. It's a pretty popular spot to watch the sunset. The cross is also the closest part of both hikes, the hike to Chrdili and Kveshete. While this road is shorter and less amazing than previously mentioned roads, I would like to show you what it looks like when someone is walking there during the sunset or what it looks like when there is a rainbow. And separately, I would like to mention the nature in Gudauri. For example, during my stay there was hail. It was very interesting to see this pretty big hail and how clouds were literally everywhere, so the driver couldn't even see the road in front of him. Since you live at high altitude, the clouds often can envelop everything around, and often those clouds are thick. You can even feel how wet they are and sometimes even feel their smell. Especially beautifully it looks from the drone. Of course, I must mention flowers and bugs. There are lots of opportunities for macro photography. I could show you a huge amount of photos and videos that I made for each separate kind of flower or bug that I met during my hikes. Also, there is a good variety of birds. Especially interesting are huge eagles or something like that. Sometimes they even fly low enough so you could take a closer look at them. That's it for my current video. So if you are still watching, don't forget to hit the like button below and subscribe for new videos. After this video, I would recommend you to watch one of the next videos about my apartment in Gudauri and also photo opportunities that you will find in Gudauri itself.